Okay, I guess we're ready to get started. Welcome to the our second candidates forum for the town of Shady Shores. A couple of housekeeping details. First, we owe a big gratitude to these folks up here as well as our current city council people. This is a thankless job. You've never been in an elected office in this kind of situation. You probably don't realize what all goes into it, and the pay isn't real good. I think if you stick around, about 48 years, you do get a plane ride. But that's about it for the pay. Secondly, these folks are here to serve and to help run our town. They are not engineers, they're not city attorneys, they're not police chiefs. They're folks that we are looking at to elect to run our town and use some good old common sense. They have access to engineers, lawyers, police chiefs, etc., but they can't be experts in everything, and we don't expect them to be. That's why we are counting on their common sense. So, with that, the rules. First, we'll start with about a 5-minute introduction from each candidate, and then we will go into questions that the ladies in the back are trying to combine. And you can specify that if you want those questions directed toward the council candidates or the mayoral candidates or both. If you have individual questions for specific candidates, last time all 6 of these folks were more than willing to stay around for conversation and questions that you want to direct toward them if they're regarding issues that are either before the council or maybe come before the council in the future. So with that, I think I've covered just about everything. We'll start off with 5-minute introductions. Charlotte, you want to start this time? Say who you are and what you're running for and why.
My name is Charlotte Marchuk. I moved to Shady Shores in 2009. I work for URS. We are an engineering firm right now. We're working with Risk Map. It is a national flood insurance program through the federal government. We work with FEMA and the Corps, mostly with drainage issues and floodplain updates. Before that, I was a police dispatcher and 911 operator for 10 years for the city of Irving. I graduated from the University of North Texas in 2008 with a degree in emergency administration and planning with a minor in geography. And I'm just really excited to be part of the town. I couldn't wait to move here when the opportunity came about. I was the first one in the car to go look at the house, and I'm very excited to be here. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to serve the community. I'm currently a member of the Planning and Zoning Committees for Shady Shores, and I've enjoyed that tremendously. I've been on there since the summer. So I just want you to know that I really enjoy being in the town and helping out as much as I can.
Thank you very much. John?
Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. Appreciate it. My name is John Shady. I am a resident of Shady Shores and a proud one. We found this little town 4 years ago, and we like it here very much. I am retired, and my background is fairly simple. It's mostly aviation based. I was a member of the United States Air Force back in the day. I had a career with United Airlines where I did a lot of planning, organizational things, international schedules planning. I worked in the maintenance division for a time, and the last 7 years of my career was spent in the corporate real estate division where I managed a $1.1 billion budget. That was comprised of rent that we paid to airports around the world, landing fees, and that kind of thing. After my career at United, where I retired, took an early retirement in 2004 rather, I took a job as Deputy Director of Finance at the Harrisburg International Airport in Pennsylvania, with that and 3 other general aviation airports. And there I was tasked with the day-to-day finances of the airport system and the authority. I have never been in government before. My career has always been in the corporate world. Then I think I bring a little bit of say the non-political type spin, or not spin, but rather non-political expertise, or say corporate role expertise to the position. And I appreciate your vote. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much. Polly?
Oh, well, I'm not really a candidate. I didn't have an opponent this time, so I guess you're stuck with me.
Her comment last week was the only way to get rid of her is impeach her, and I said that could be arranged. She Smile.
Always.
Okay, we will go to our mayoral candidate. Jerry, you want to start?
Yes, Jerry Williams, and again, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight, taking your time to come and visit with us. I was born in Dallas and raised in Oak Cliff, and in 1959, my next door neighbor bought a little green fishing cottage at 204 Lakeshore here in Shady Shores. And one weekend out of the month, I was able to come up here and visit with a close childhood friend. And that's when I first found the enjoyment of Shady Shores and the mystique and the aura of this wonderful town. In 1997, I had the opportunity then to move back with my wife here at Shady Shores. Unfortunately, the little green fishing cottage had burned down, but I was able to purchase a little white fishing cottage at 214 Lakeshore. And we have resided there for the last 13 years. I have a degree from Dallas Baptist University and a degree from East Texas State University, which is now Texas A&M Commerce. When I first left college, I began a teaching career with the Dallas Independent School District, and in 1974 went to work with my father-in-law, who owns a flagpole manufacturing plant. While at that particular flagpole plant, I basically was customer service, production manager, inventory control, purchasing, drafting, did the installations, and just about anything that you could perhaps do in there. I learned excellent management skills in that time at the flagpole plant, and basically found that I have a good responsibility and a sense of management skills. In the late 80s, the economy here bottomed out a little bit, so I went back into the teaching profession at First Baptist Academy. At First Baptist Academy, I was also a coach, and a very successful coach. I was, again, skilled enough to manage children and conform them into the ways of learning how to win and overcoming low esteem, and basically I was a strong mentor to those children at that time. In 1997, coincidentally, with the time I actually was able to move back to this wonderful town of Shady Shores, I basically went back to assist my father-in-law, whose company had taken off to an enormous progression, and I then once again began assisting him in management skills and also in doing estimating. Basically, my responsibilities now, in addition to budgeting and management and inventory control, is I read specifications, and I basically then bid the flagpole products to the general contractors, and then I negotiate the contracts with them to try to get those particular flagpoles into an architect's hands for approval and then shipped. I've been a two-term alderman here at the town of Shady Shores, and during those 2 terms, the wonderful building you see here, my fellow councilmen and myself were able to get this structure off the ground and in place as you see it today, and certainly that was a task that we're all very proud of. I was also on the landscape committee, and I was the official tree waterer. As the little saplings were put in, I made sure that summer that it was extremely beneficial to getting plenty of water. Certainly appreciate your vote as a candidate here for Mayor of Shady Shores, and I can't begin to tell you how much I love this town.
Thank you very much. Dan?
Hello, I'm Dan Caronade. I live at 215 Lakeshore, a couple of houses down from Jerry here, in the brew house on the head S curve in the road. I grew up in Kansas City. I graduated from high school at much too young an age of 16. Started working full time. Moved to California during the watch rides because everybody told me I could really see some great manufacturing companies out there. Stayed there for 12 years, and the company was sold out. I was plant manager at the time. Came to Texas, went to work for Levi Strauss, their R&D facility in Richardson, Texas. I worked there for 12 years. I was working there when I built my house out here in Shady Shores in 1982. Moved out here with 2 young daughters as a single parent. Raised them, they came out pretty good. I think they put both of them through college, and I paid for 2 expensive weddings. And was it, on top of that, I was able to retire. In the meantime, too, I went into business about 12 years before I retired, and ran the machine shop for 12 years. I was incorporated, I did work for the Defense Department, I worked for petroleum industry and the aircraft industry. I got lucky, real lucky, and found somebody who wanted to shop and got out of it in pretty good shape and was able to retire. So I have plenty of time now. My kids tell me to get a hobby, and I don't want a hobby, I don't want to build no airplanes, I just want to do something useful, and I think being the mayor of Shady Shores would be very useful.
Thank you very much.
Hello neighbors, my name is Betty Brown and I'm asking for your vote and your support. This is my husband Rick Brown, the love of my life. We've been married 30 years. We've lived here in Shady Shores since 1988. As far as my professional life, I started to work with Norvell Electronics 38 years ago. Started out at minimum wage, and I'll retire as Vice President of Operations. So I'm very proud of my tenure with Norvell. As far as the community is concerned, my first involvement was when Mayor Stevens called me and asked me if I would serve on the board of directors for our Lake City's library. And so I did that. I served on the board for 11 years. 2 of those years I was president of the board. And it was during that time that we expanded the facility to double its size like it is today. And we transitioned with a new library director, and then we also reestablished the much needed volunteer group, Friends of the Library. I've been place 2. These guys are vying for that place. Alderman for 6 years, and for the last 2 years, I've been serving as your mayor pro tem. I'm very excited about some of the work that we have done here in Shady Shores, working with the Corps and the mobile home park down on South Shady Shores, working with Nita Watkins to bring 3 accounting systems into one, and almost balancing to the penny as the mayor and I laugh. We worked with Carolyn Belknap to establish the website that you guys have today, and I'm very proud of that, but most recently working with the mayor and the council to approve the waste management contract that was just approved last night. Thank you, Joanne Lee. If I'm elected, I plan on, my promise is that I will communicate with all of our residents, work closely with our council, and hold ourselves and everyone that we contract with accountable so that all of the contracts and services that we get our money's worth. I'll work over the next 2 years to formalize a road maintenance program, work on an annual fire hydrant inspection program, and update the maps that the emergency services for our town uses. At Norvell Electronics, they are very committed to my commitment to Shady Shores, and so if I am privileged to be elected, I will immediately cut my work hours to 32 hours. I plan on being here at the office 7 o'clock Monday morning through noon 30, and then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, 5:30 traffic willing to 7, and then on Friday afternoons, noon 30 to 6 o'clock. And of course, I'm always available on Saturday by appointment. So I hope you guys will see that as that I'm an accessible mayor, and with Wendy's also being here from 9 to 5, I feel like that we really will have the coverage that you expect. Thank you all. I beat my 5 minutes. See, I made up my 20 seconds.
About 15 seconds. Okay, I'm going to try to distribute who I asked to speak first. If you hear a question and you want to speak first, fine. I'm not sure what's the advantage to answer first or answer last. But this first question for mayoral candidates.